They're throwing money at people. And the fact that she somehow managed to get $38,000 in back rent, but then buy herself a Rolex. How do you do that?
I want you to file for bankruptcy.
Welcome back to the Graham Stephan Show, and I want to show you one of the craziest financial situations I have ever seen that is awful. Well, this lady is $50,000 in debt, she's not paying her rent, she's driving around in a Mercedes, and she's buying herself a Rolex watch on a credit card to look fake rich to impress her clients. It's absolutely awful. So I want to go over this, give my own thoughts on the situation as soon as you hit the like button and subscribe. I'm also going to link Roman's video down below in the description for anyone who wants to follow along. So thank you guys so much, and also a big thank you to Public.com for sponsoring this video, but more on that later. Let's begin.
Jane, what's going on?
Yeah, on the outside, it looks like I have a very successful business. I've worked for Fitbit India. I've worked for the US Olympics. I've been training for over 20 years. But on the inside, I am a 40-something-year-old ball of quarter-life crisis mush, I guess you would say. And I've accrued a lot of debt from COVID.
That's weird. A lot of debt from COVID. That was one of the times where people were just flush with cash. I mean, I remember. I would go down to the Las Vegas Strip. I have never seen it so busy before. I have never seen so many people waiting in line at Louis Vuitton, Gucci, all the designer stores because they got a massive stimulus check and they're just gonna spend it, gamble it, live up life. With everything going on, COVID was one of the times where they were just throwing money at the problem, just expecting it to solve everything. And it really just made inflation bad. So it's interesting to me that she has debt from that.
When I was younger, I was able to recoup money that I spent in big amounts, and I was healthy and I could just, run through. And really, I think a different set of goals. I wasn't looking to own a house or cultivate a relationship. I think I was
living the present.
Yeah, living in the present, but maybe not to the...
Oh gosh, it's just she wanted to spend the money now. That's all it is. It's just the fact that you don't really have the foresight to think, I should plan ahead. I should save a little bit today because tomorrow's not guaranteed. And if I make money now, it might not always be this great. So I may as well just, spend it all. And that whole mindset, I don't know. I don't understand it. But then again, I'm a crazy saver. I am so much of a person where I just enjoy saving more now than I would ever spend it. But yeah, all that is just the living life now. But it's dangerous, as you could see.
When COVID hit and everything shut down, my whole financial and professional life went south. And recouping from that, even 3-4 years later, has been extremely challenging. In fact, I find myself going further and further into debt just to stay catching up.
Could she not have gotten unemployment? That's what I'm so confused about. They were paying so much money. It was an extra $600 a week on top of other unemployment benefits that you could get. I knew some people who were making $7,000 a month with unemployment on top of PPP loans and all the other things that were available at the time. If she was self-employed, paying into any sort of unemployment program, my gosh, I mean, she could theoretically replace her income without having to work. Now, it depends. If she's spending obviously $15,000 a month, it's unsustainable. But for a decent lifestyle, that debt could be sustained. And that went on for over 2 years.
With social media blowing up and things like that, and me not wanting to go the social media route.
Why?
They don't have the certifications. They don't have the licensing. They don't have the knowledge. They're cute guys/girls with six-packs in their bikinis. There's just a very vapid element to it that I don't really consider. Yeah, I don't want to partake in it.
Yeah, but who cares? Honestly, not really follow, but I get recommended so many of these personal trainers, you would even call them on Instagram or whatever, just people who are really shredded, in great shape. I would listen to them because they're doing whatever I want to achieve. I don't care if they have any credentials whatsoever. If they look like that and they're doing it naturally, I'm gonna listen to them. I don't care about anything other than that. Same thing if someone is running a really successful business. I don't care if they didn't graduate with a Harvard MBA, if they don't have all these licenses. I don't care. If they're running a successful business, I want to hear from them. What are they doing? What worked for them? What didn't work for them? All these credentials, all these things. Yeah, you know what? Listen, I'm sure they have their place to a certain degree. And I think, deep down, maybe she's just feeling inferior because she maybe doesn't have the same physique as some of the other people on Instagram, and she's using that as an excuse just not to try, not to do the social media thing. Because that's what you gotta do these days. You gotta be in a really top shape, take great photos, post them online. That's gonna bring people in who might wanna pay you for your services. That's it.
I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid, Roman. I don't want to drink the Kool-Aid.
All right.
That's not all. I don't like how he says all right. I would push back on that and be like, well, you know what? Then you're holding yourself back, and good luck being successful without any sort of social media profile like that. I hate to say it, but it's like easy mode. If you want to go that route, my gosh, it's like, why make your life harder if you don't have to make it harder? She's making your life harder now on purpose because she's put barriers up. She's put walls up. I'd be pushing back on that.
I do house calls where I do rehabilitation therapy, which is $10.99. I have an employer that sends me out.
How much do you charge for that?
So I think she charges about $150 a session.
Okay.
And I make about $75. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's about the going rate, unfortunately. She could probably bump it up a little bit if she's driving to them. But for the most part, there are, I hate to say it, there's a lot of personal trainers out there. It's very competitive. People are very price conscious sometimes. And charging more than that, I mean, she could probably eke out a little bit more, but I tend to agree with her. With drive times in Los Angeles, it could take you like 30, 40 minutes to get to a client and 30, 40 minutes back, and then plus you got the other hour on top of it, and now your rate's really in half when you calculate your driving time. So it's tough.
How do you feel about your salary?
It feels like bullshit, like I'm upset. I'm angry. I work very hard and I deserve a lot more, and I'm not getting that.
You know what, though? She doesn't deserve any more money. Like, the thing is, when you reach a ceiling like that, then it's really up to you to push beyond it, to figure out other ways that you could expand your business, other ways where you might be able to charge a little more, maybe do some social media so that way you attract more clients, you get busier so that you can raise your prices and justify it. But if she's not willing to put in that work, then that's kind of what she deserves. She deserves what she's currently earning. She's not willing to break free and go beyond that.
2014 Mercedes GLK with 100,000+ miles, valued here at 9,400.
In my defense, in LA, that's like driving a Toyota.
Right, but who do you want to impress though?
Myself.
Oh man. Here's the thing, the value of a Mercedes at $9,400, under 10 grand for a car, seems reasonable. The issue I have with that is that the repair costs for a Mercedes, very high. 100,000 mile Mercedes, my gosh. Not only is the gas mileage going to be not that good, but one repair on a car like that could be thousands of dollars. I had a lease. I had a Mercedes C300 lease. Back in like 2015 or 2016, I paid, I think it was like $400 a month for the car, give or take. I had to replace tires on the car. And I'm thinking, okay, tires. So, I used to have a Toyota Prius. It was dirt cheap to replace the tires. On this Mercedes, it was like $700 to replace the tires because I was leasing it and Mercedes Financial wanted like these stupid tires. They were so expensive for the tires. And the service packages, my gosh, the prior owner of the, the person I subleased it from basically paid for all of these maintenance packages. And the packages were expensive for the oil change and like random minor little tunings. It's horrible.
And you're wearing a $6,500 valued Rolex. What is going on? And you're still making payment plans on this? What's going on?
It was a 40th birthday present to myself.
Paid with debt. 28%.
Yeah.
What? She bought herself a $6,500 Rolex on a credit card with a 28% interest rate for a present for herself? This is just stupidity at this point. I mean, we gotta call for it. That's idiotic. And she's gonna get hosed when she goes and sells that watch. I guarantee, I saw the Rolex she's wearing. It's not worth $6,500. She could probably have gotten that secondhand from like a reputable jeweler. Get like a 10-year-old watch and she could have probably paid about $3,800 for it. Save $3,000 right there for just like, I don't know, 2 hours worth of work.
Jane, how much do you pay for rent right now in Los Angeles?
About $2,500.
Although really quick, before we go into that, this is a perfect reminder of why it's so important to be investing your money instead of just blowing and spending it. For example, when it comes to building wealth, studies show that lump sum investing beats dollar cost averaging into the market 68% of the time, and holding cash underperforms investing 69% of the time. That's why our sponsor Public wants to help you start the new year with your best foot forward. For those unaware, Public.com is a platform that lets you build a multi-asset investment portfolio of stocks, bonds, ETFs, treasuries, crypto, and more all in one place. With their seamlessly designed interface, Public also makes it easy to research more information than you ever thought was possible while making decisions about your investments. Personally, I love their Key Moments feature that gives you specific insights into major news, plans, or earnings throughout various price movements. This way you could see why a stock is moving up or down and not just that it is. You could also get quick access to earnings calls, reports, income statements, and balance sheets on one page, so you don't need to spend hours searching for them individually. They also offer a feature where you can set a recurring buy to dollar cost average into the markets on a regular basis, creating a seamless set it and forget it approach to investing. Or if you're the type who enjoys watching dividends, they have a dedicated income hub where you could view a monthly breakdown of your earnings like dividends to give you an idea of how much you're actively earning from your investments. To me, I absolutely love simplicity, and Public makes it easy to see everything you need to on one page. It's intuitive to navigate, their layout is seamless, and with a wide variety of options to choose from, it's no wonder why they've gained significant market share over these last few years. So if you're interested in getting started today for free, visit public.com/Graham or use the link down below in the description. Again, that's public.com/Graham with the link down below in the description. Thank you so much, and now let's get back to the video.
Okay, I mean, it's an expensive place to be at. It's also Los Angeles, I can understand in some aspects.
The $2,500 isn't terrible for LA, but if I were her, she can't afford it. Until she pays down all of her debt, I'd be living with roommates and you could find a decent spot for $1,300 a month. Maybe $1,500 a month, okay? Spend $1,500 a month, rent a room, live with some roommates, and save $1,000 a month, throw that at the debt. That's what she has to do if she wants to get out of this.
$38,000 in back rent on it as well. What's going on with that?
So it's from COVID. So I am currently paying my rent. That is back rent. That's several years old, but I brought the ledger in because I want to be completely honest with you.
Oh my gosh, oh man, how? 38,000. They were throwing money at people during COVID. Did she not think to take unemployment? There were so many opportunities out there for her to make bank. She would have made, if she's paying in unemployment, okay? If she's self-employed, I'm hoping she's reporting her taxes and paying unemployment. Because she could get like $5,000 a month for doing nothing. For doing nothing. $5,000 a month. And she could have had that for like 2 years. She can't have the excuse of like, oh, you know, I couldn't do my personal training. They were throwing money at people. And the fact that she somehow managed to get $38,000 in back rent, but then buy herself a Rolex. How do you do that? In what world is it a good idea? Because this, keep in mind, this is 3 years ago. COVID was going on, right? Okay, 3 years ago. She's not paying her rent, but she buys a Rolex. If I were the landlord, I would be livid. My gosh, because the landlord's going to have to spend money on attorneys to deal with all of this crap. Well, she goes off and spends $6,500 on a Rolex when her rent is $2,500 a month. Unbelievable. This is why landlords just want to get out of the business, is her. She is the reason why.
Looking at your rent, my dear friend, right now, with utilities, you're at $24.50.
Yeah, I rounded up to 25 because it depends on what the AC bill or the heat bill or whatever.
67% of your income. We like it to be below 28.
Yeah, but also Los Angeles, in fairness, is one of those places where like the average person right now is spending about 60% of their income on housing. It is wild. California's got major problems. Not saying that makes this right, it doesn't, but she's not alone in this.
What is going on with Instacart?
So
What's your excuse?
I work so many hours that like getting to the grocery store is just one of those things I just can't get myself to do in LA, where you have to look for parking. And I sound like such an asshole. I already know.
You have to look for parking. She really, like, no wonder she's not in a relationship. I mean, You hear this, you're out the door. You just peace out of this one. And this is the one where, you go out to eat and you just piece it out the back. You go to the restroom and you excuse yourself and you never come back. The level of excuses here is just mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. She doesn't want to look for parking. That's her excuse for spending so much more money. She needs a huge reality check. Well, she's getting it, hopefully.
We are listing here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different credit card debts.
Yeah.
Total amount of credit card debt today, $27,830.
Whoa, $27,000 of credit card debt on top of owing her landlord $30-something thousand. Wow. So she's in debt as of now, very early on, basically her entire year's worth of income before tax in California. So she would have to spend 2 years of her income, 2 years straight, to pay down all the debt, assuming she spends no money whatsoever.
You still decided to take a $6,000 loan at 30% on your watch. Why?
It just gives me like a little glimmer of hope, even if for a millisecond, because like your own words, it's not always about the money. Sometimes it is about the feeling, and it gives me a feeling. Mm-hmm. And it was for my own birthday.
It was for her own birthday. Oh my gosh. I hate to say it, just get the replica watch. Get the replica one, spend like $300 on like a prime one. I've been getting recommended these videos lately, by the way, where they compare the real Rolex watch to a fake one. They call them the super clone watches. My gosh, sometimes the finishes on the clone is better than the actual real, genuine watch itself.
This, right now, is how much you're losing per month, despite working 7 days a week. How can we sustain this lifestyle? There's no way. There's no way. So we need to make an absolute drastic change.
You know what? I think the big thing is she needs to be cutting back significantly and then also doubling her income. She needs to be like posting on Instagram, doing everything she can to get more clients, raising her prices. Like she needs to make more and spend less. I don't think she could just do one or the other. I think it's got to be both if she wants to get out of this mess, which she can, but my God, it's going to be a lot of work.
Bite the bullet on your feet for 5 years, and this is exactly what I would do. I want you to file for bankruptcy.
Woo! I did not expect him to say that, but you know what? Like maybe, because then she could probably get off the hook on the rent too. I hate to say that, but it's like, what benefit should she have of not filing bankruptcy? I mean, what? To save her already bad credit? Like everything is pointing, unfortunately, to that being like the best option, and that's a shitty option. But you know what? It's like kind of the only thing left.
I would have so much shame getting into a relationship with somebody after having bankruptcy on my record, and maybe it's a cultural thing. I'm going to be really honest with you. I would rather eat beans and rice and my Starbucks and my Ulta and like do it the extremely hard way, because eventually at the end of that, I can feel good about going into a relationship with somebody. I cannot with the levels of shame.
Oh gosh, she's attaching too much of her own happiness to the external factors around her. It's like her happiness is based on her having a Mercedes, having a Rolex watch, working hard. You know what? If she didn't have any of this, she'd still be the same person. Like her as a person is not changing regardless of how much debt she has. She's still her. So at the end of the day, this just seems like more of a pride thing, and she's like, I don't want to do that, even though it's going to better her.
I have countless of friends, not countless, but 2 or 3, that have taken a shot that filed for bankruptcy, and today they are worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Because this is what the United States is. And this is also why I'm here.
Yeah, dude, so some of the richest people, too, have filed for bankruptcy multiple times. It's just like, hey, if a company doesn't work out, file for bankruptcy, dissolve it, try something else. Rinse and repeat. Just keep going. She's not going to listen to this. So, like, I think all of this is falling on deaf ears.
This was very eye-opening and very candid and a little bit of tough love, but it really showed me what my options are. And now I think these are things I have to digest and mull over and figure out.
All right, so here's the update. Crazy running around during the holiday season, you know? I did cut my massage envy and Target, so I got taken care of. Okay, started to save my payback debt. Not ready to move forward with the bankruptcies. I want to try to make it happen on my own. All right, so she's not doing anything. All right, whatever. So with that said, you guys, I'm going to link to Roman's video down below in the description. For anyone who wants to go and subscribe to his channel, I highly recommend it. Also a reminder, check out public.com, our sponsor, down below as well. Thank you so much, and until next time.